what blessings are there for Muslim women after death compared to men in heaven?
Yeah, I mean, at some point somebody's going to make a meme about this, right? But when you look at the Islamic texts, they are very explicit, verbose, and indulgent in describing the luxuries and enjoyments that men are going to have. There's an entire species of creature created by Allah just to be sex slaves in heaven. You know, their only reason to exist is to be the physical pleasure of men. And so sex slavery continues in heaven as it is on earth, according to Sharia law. And they get to enjoy virgins every night who become virgins again the next morning. Now, I don't know, like 72 virgins for a guy, maybe that's quite enjoyable. I'm not sure 72 virgins for a woman is that enjoyable. It's kind of like, it's not clear what women get. It's not clear at all that they get anything. You know, and I think some Muslim commentators kind of just mirror reflect what the texts say for men and just invert it for women, you know. But there's nothing that I've come across that talks about what women get in the texts per se, just in some commentaries. And commentaries are just any man's opinion. A tasfir is just an opinion, isn't it? And so there isn't much blessings. One of the things, ironically, that does appear in the hadiths is sort of like a compensation, which is that if a woman loses her child at birth or in pregnancy, that child's death counts as a shield for that woman from going into hell or spending a longer period in hell, which is, funnily enough, it's kind of an atonement theology. This child dies and they spend less time in hell, or this child dies and they don't go to hell at all. You know, and so there is that I've heard. But Muhammad says that the majority of people in hell are women, because apparently they're deficient in their intellect, they're deficient in their religion. You know, and so, according to Muhammad, most of the people in hell are women. So, yeah, I mean, Islam doesn't offer much. If you look at Islam as a worked out faith, it is very much Muslim men are at the top, and everything is orientated around Muslim men. I'll just give you one example. So, you might know that at the moment there's a scandal surrounding a very famous Muslim dawah and da'i, who's partaken in what's known as a misyar marriage, or so the accusation goes. I don't know if it's true. But regardless of whether it's true, if you look into what a misyar marriage is, it's a marriage of convenience for the benefit of the man. And when you look at the reasons for a misyar marriage, one of the reasons is that if the man is away from home and he can no longer control his urges, he can enter into a misyar marriage and have a second wife that he never doesn't need to tell his first wife about. But here's the point. This is why it's so unfair to women. Is because the woman at home still has to remain chaste. She has to control her urges. She has to control her loins. But the man is allowed, if he can't control his loins, if he can't control his urges, he's allowed to enter into this misyar marriage, this second marriage, for his own release and pleasure. And this is the disparity with which women are treated within Islam. You know, it says in the Quran that a woman can be beat merely upon the suspicion of disobedience. Not that there's actual disobedience, not that there's a fact of disobedience, but if you suspect her of disobedience, first admonish her, then banish her from the bed, and then strike her, is what the Quran literally says. So women get a really raw deal in the Islamic world. And sociologically, one of the things that we can do to help Muslim women is to support their education. And that's a good way of weakening Islam whilst blessing your enemies. You know, supporting female education in the Muslim community helps to free women from Islam. Because so many women in the Muslim world just don't know of a world that's different. They only know of a world that's dominated by Muslim men. And so they just think that that's how the world is. And that's how the world should be. And they have nothing of the equality and but celebration of difference that Christianity offers.